Tippy time, my damies, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3, overall Episode 55, I do believe, of Reviewedly Interrupted with me, your host, Pootie Tang. That was a burp, came out of my mouth. Carbonated soda, gotta love it. Doritos. It's in plastic because it's this size comes in plastic, I guess. But love Doritos, great soda. This episode, continuing on with the Critters franchise, Critters 3, with the tagline, "You are what they eat." Oh, you goddamn right. Yes, Critters 3. Oh. Now this one, different vibe with this one. Now this one's released in 1991, just a few years down the road there. Still rated PG-13, but this one, I don't know, things must have changed in between this one and the last one because not a ton of cussing, not even a ton of blood. Like, I think there's even there might be less blood in this one, and it seems like a more true PG-13 rating, and still hour and 26 minutes long, so under an hour and a half, a short little John. It seems like all of them have been pretty short and everything. And let's take a little bit of look at the cast here really quick. John Calvin. I'm doing hand motions, so even though I'm probably going to do voice prompts, so I don't even need to do the hand motion. So actually, that was Amy. No, don't do the hand motion. Amy Brooks. Amy Brooks. Christian and Joseph Cousins. It's the whole two little twins playing one kid thing that Hollywood does. It's like two for the price of one or something. Leonardo Dicaprio in a role way back in the day. You don't hear Critters and DiCaprio in the same sentence ever, unless somebody's talking about Critters 3 that's specifically a horror fan and loves sequels that aren't as good as the original. What can you say? But yeah, I just always think that's kind of goofy to me. Don Keith Hopper, back as Charlie, gotta love it. Jeffrey Blake, Francis Bay, and Terrence Mann for just a little bit at the end there. We just get a little tiny taste of Ugg that's not a flashback montage thing. Okay, and directed by Christine Peterson, who's worked on some stuff, but I wouldn't say there's anything big name that most people would even remotely recognize on her thing. But it's probably some pretty decent shit, because this movie wasn't that bad. It was done pretty well for PG-13. And let's start off with the notes, because I got my notes. This is the first film in the franchise that takes place straight up on Earth. It does not start in space. There's no little space intro which gets us to Earth. It just straight starts up on Earth, which is a first. It's very different. And this time it's a sympathetic family. We get the real big family element in Critters 1, but it's the families, they're a happy family. They all get along. They're functioning. They're a very functioning, happy, middle of the road family. Well, this starts off with a family that has obviously dealt with some tragedy. And so they play up the sympathy. We're okay, these are obviously our protagonists, and we want them to survive. You totally get that vibe from the start. And I just love when young DiCaprio comes in, because it's what the fuck, it's just one of those instances where, an actor very early, someone who ends up becoming a big A-list actor, way back early in their career, stars in something that's they don't really talk about, because it's just a cheesy horror movie or low budget horror movie or just a horror movie altogether. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Next Generation, the whole McConaughey Zellweger thing where they're we don't want to be associated with that shit, just cracks me up. But and we almost immediately get the clash of the working class with the out-of-touch upper class. There when the truck with the camper gets the flat and they have to pull over there, and there's the fucking well-to-do folks and everything. So it's we immediately start to get that vibe. They already set the groundwork for that because it becomes a big thing later on, really. And then Charlie just pops out of nowhere. They just kind of like, it was kind of strange. He just pops up, like literally. And it's like he's back to being the crazy, bumbling fool, or at least what people are probably perceiving, because we know better. We know Charlie. Sorry, this is a nicotine lozenge. I've actually been quitting smoking, so this is day 3. Pretty cool, yeah. But like, in the first one, when we first meet Charlie, he's like the crazy drunk and he's bumbling and everything else. Now he's sober, but now it's like he's back to being the crazy bumbling guy and everything. It's like, okay, he's done a 360, not a 180. Like he did his 180 and then he did another 180 and he's back there. And then we get the big flashback montage for anybody who hasn't seen part 1 and part 2, and they just jump in on 3. They can get caught up really quick. It's like an effective way to get people caught up, especially for movies that they probably expected, I'm guessing, to play on TV a lot. Because 91 TV was still like a big thing for like some of that shit. And then I love the magic space crystals. It's just ridiculous. I made notes later. It's like they glow green, so it's like the Reanimator dark crystal. Fucking crazy. And with this one, it's new characters. Like the first 2, we had what's his fuck and his family, and then he comes back to the same town, and it's all the same, pretty much people and everything. It's like the same, in the same area. Well, this new people, man. We're not going back there. Charlie is the only tie to the older movies. Other than that, all the other characters, they show them in the montage, but they are not going to be in the fray this time. So it is heavy on character development again. They want to get us to like quickly kind of feel like we know these characters very well and definitely become sympathetic with them. So they throw that up there. And then like the oh snap, big city critters. That's right. They've moved to the city now. Now the Krites have already done their bullshit out in the middle of the fucking country, and now they're in the big city. Of course, because why not? Jason ended up having to take Manhattan, so the Krites got to take wherever this was. I can't remember. I don't think did they say? They probably did, but I was just like, I don't know. I just went along for the ride and took notes. That's what I do, man. But one thing about it is kind of funny. It's like, it's almost sitcomish because the characters are written to have like very clear, strong personalities of like, okay, this character is this type of person. This character is this type of person. So it's very clearly defined. And like, you got these great people that have been in tons of shit doing character actor stuff, doing character acting. So it's like they're very good at like diving into a certain type of character and everything. Just like Lin Shaye did in the first 2 and everything else, So we have these very clear personalities of who everyone is. And you got to love the old cliche of like the youngest person finding the stuff first, but nobody's really listening to him because he's just young and doesn't know anything. But everything is getting thrown at him. It's like, I don't know. It's just like the universe saying like, okay, who could take this information and would be the least effective of delivering it? Oh, the small child. Yes, give it to him. And in Critters 3, it's super blue collar. It's like really, man, I was around in the early 90s, but I don't really remember much of what was going on in the mid 90s. I mean, not mid 90s, the early 90s, like 91. I remember there was some shit going on and everything, but this throws a real blue collar out there where definitely more of a social commentary than 1 and 2. Like, this is a definite social commentary about classes. It's very clear. You get it. It's not like they so throw it in your face where they're saying it in the dialogue, but the progression, the plot, what's happening. So it's very upper class versus working class shit. They throw it out there. And then when the first human antagonist meets the Krite antagonist. We have this push-pull right there because the Krites are horrible. We've already saw them in 2 movies just do horrible fucking shit and just be total assholes and eat everything and kill, 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 kill. We've seen it for 2 movies. We're in part 3. But this human guy is such a fucking douchebag that you are rooting for the critters to eat his ass. It's like, I love when movies do that, where it's like you have to choose between the lesser of 2 evils in that. Personally, your personal lesser of 2 evils, you know? And of course, with the whole social commentary that's about classes that is thrown in there, like almost not totally subversively, but enough, but you know, the vibe, the current of what's going on there. You really root for the critters just to fuck that guy up because he's such an asshole and he's fucking over our blue collar heroes, you know? And I love that. And since this takes place in an apartment complex, you know, I was immediately reminded of other movies. You could almost say it's like the apartment complex horror movie subgenre, if you wanted to make another fucking subgenre, because, I don't know, I think at this point, it's like more for amusement just to make subgenres. Or you can make like niche. We just call it niche. The niche of horror where it takes place within an apartment complex, you know, where people are trapped, stranded, can't get out, whatever. And, you know, it made me think of Troll. Of course, this has a very Troll-like vibe to it, to a lot of it. Demons 2, which takes place in there. Poltergeist 3. Wreck. And fucking Quarantine. You know, that's a nice little handful of movies that Critters 3 gets to nestle and cuddle with. They get to cuddle. The part I want to really say, it's like they did it in like fucking Gremlins and shit like that too. But how like the bleach was marking that one critter, so he's like the main critter, and we get a main critter antagonist now instead of it just being all of them as just one big flowing antagonist of teeth and murder teeth. Antagonistic murder teeth, that now we have a certain one that we can focus on that becomes like its very own character, separate from the group that we just call critters, and they are what they are, you know. So I dug that because it kind of gave us a main critter character, and I think that happens like they start doing that later on. They kind of did it in the early ones. There was the big critter, like the really huge one in the first one. I don't think there really was one in the second one, unless there was. Yeah, because in the first one there was also the one that got his like hair shot off top of his head. I don't know, but the camera on the broom scene when the girl's like smacking the critter up against the walls, trying to bang it off there and everything. I thought that was a very great shot. I love that fucking shot. Just where it's that POV angle where it's on the broom and you're just staring right at the critter's faces. I really love that shot. And the fact they did it like 6-7 times of bang, 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 bang. And they stayed on it for a minute instead of doing like a really quick cut. Because I've seen movies do that. You'd be like bang, bang, and then it cuts, you know? And it's like, okay, that was kind of a cool shot. Like, let it play out a little bit. And I like how they let it play out. I mean, I thought it was a very cool shot. And I thought it was ironic that at the end there, the dickhead, the guy, the slumlord, how he's the main, he's like the main boss fucking antagonist of the human antagonist. And I thought it was ironic that he was wearing red, white, and blue. You know, it was almost like, you know, the upper class of America, you know, oppressing the blue collar hard worker of America who's just trying to get by and do for his family and everything. I thought that was very poignant. I thought that, and I love how he used the term panic casserole. I fucking love that, and I might get that tattooed up across my shoulders in Old English. And they'll be like, oh, you got a tattoo? I'll be like, yeah, because panic casserole. That's what they call me. They're like, oh shit, here comes the panic casserole. Like, nobody calls me that or says that, but if if you could all go out there and start it, hashtag panic casserole. We can fix America with hashtag panic casserole. Okay. I thought it was funny how the Krites were watching Julia Child. For all you young folks who don't know who Julia Child is, if there is any young folks watching this, younger folks, Gen Z or whatever, and all that bullshit. Julia Childs is like old people's Guy Fieri. Like, I don't know who like is newer than Guy Fieri, or if you guys even know who Guy Fieri is still. But like whoever like the main cool chef is these days, that's Julia Child. All right. And when the eviler, the main boss human antagonist meets the Krites, it's yet again, it's like they're both fucking terrible. One attacks us physically and wants to devour us and eat us alive. The other one attacks us fucking monetarily and mentally and emotionally and wants to just eat our soul. And it's like, which is the lesser of two evils? Who am I going to root for? And of course, both times I rooted for the Krites because I'm like, yeah, this guy, like, first guy, trash. This guy, trash. Bucket. And you're like, okay, have that evil take out that evil, and then you've only got one evil to deal with, and then take out the other evil. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's pretty much what played out. Gotta love that shit. What I also love is that then all of a sudden, on top of everything else, the building catches fire. It's like, it is just really heaping shit on these people. I mean, they live in a fucking slum tenement where there's rats that are being purposely put into the building. The next thing you know, they got fucking the critters running around and some maniac slumlord cutting off phone lines and shit like that. And then it's on fire. It's like, I don't know. God maybe just hates these people and maybe they should have died at the end. Maybe that was the moral of the story. I don't know. Maybe one of them did something so horrible that it brought down the wrath of the gods upon them. Probably one of the ones that died in there, I would hope. And oh yeah, I had to put in here, it's like, now Leonardo DiCaprio became a better actor, but in this, it is such like soap opera-y, fucking sitcom-y fucking acting. It's hilarious. Like, it is straight up sitcom type acting like you'd see on like a Disney Channel sitcom where it was kind of like, oh, like not that great. Like the kid's doing his best job and not the worst, but like you're like, oh, you know, there's potential. That kind of deal where it's a little kind of overacting in a way, not insanely, but not like Saturday Night Live Will Ferrell type overacting, but enough that it's like kind of like, ah, yeah, you know, a little work and you could be pretty good, kid. Thought that was funny. And I do like that they added fart jokes in Critters 3 because guess what? Farts are funny. Get over it. It's a thing. It's always going to be a thing. I don't give a shit when anybody says farts are funny. Okay? They will always will be. And then, I love how it's just Charlie to the rescue because fucking Charlie's awesome. He's like the greatest thing ever, dude. I love Charlie. And the fact that like he gets to be the hero is just great because he is like a pure soul. Charlie is a pure soul who's just like a good fucking guy who wants to do the right thing. He's just maybe not like the sharpest tool in the shed, but he always means well. And I fucking love Charlie because he's the best. One thing I noticed about this one, there's a very low kill count for the Krites in this one. Very low. Like they killed a lot of motherfuckers in each of those. Like, I think they killed more in the second one, but they killed a lot of people. In this one, they didn't kill that many people. It was like, what, 2? I think it was just 2 people. Yeah, like 2 people, maybe 3. Ain't shit, dude. Like, they did not kill that many people in this one. So that was kind of like where I could tell they leaned more on like the softer PG-13 side because, yeah, there was not a big kill count. And there was moments, especially at the end there, where the kid was falling off the building and his sister grabs him and saves him and shit, where I was just like, this is like Adventures in Babysitting meets Troll. This is kind of what this is like, with the Krites running around being little shits. But I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. But it just had that moment right there where it felt like it. And then I like the Charlie death fake out. You know, that's become quite a standard where you're like, oh no, Charlie, did Charlie die this time? And it's like, no, he survived. Because that's just Charlie, man. Can't keep a good dog down. That guy is just fucking rolling. He's going to keep rolling. And he does. And it's great. But like, I like how they added that in there. It's become kind of like a running gag with it. And I like it. And then the super solid under the ending credits cliffhanger setup for part 4. Yes. I can't wait to do part 4. Because part 4 is a special one. And I will explain that when I do the review for part 4. So don't fucking ask me now. Because we're doing part 3. Okay? God, just fucking hold on, okay? We'll get there. We'll get there together. This is a journey, okay? This is a journey. This is like when Frodo went to throw the One Ring. It's going to take a minute, you know? Just go on this journey with me, and it'll all be worth it. No, it won't. This is such a waste of your time. I don't even know why you're here. And that's how you lose viewers. No, but I really enjoyed Critters 3. Like, it was definitely different. It was like they kind of pulled back a little bit. They went for something I think that was even more family friendly in this, where it's like the humor didn't even get too risque. It was goofy. It wasn't as bloody. Like I said, a much smaller kill count. And yeah, it was just. It was much more family friendly than even the first two, and I can see they went that way because when you're doing a franchise, it's like, especially one that maybe doesn't get the attention that others do, like some other big franchises, like even some of them got kind of off the rails, but you know, still more attention to shit. Critters was like kind of one of those ones where it's like fans are into it, but it's like. They kind of didn't, I don't think, got as much attention from the studio. So it's like you try to do something to get people to watch it because they want people, they got to make their money. They made a movie, they got to make some money, man. So they got to get people to watch it. And so they tried something a little different, maybe to going a little more family friendly to get even more viewers or something. But it was a nice little movie. It's almost like a palate cleanser because if I do remember, part 4 gets back into some shit. But yeah, like. I'm really digging going through the Critters collection. And this little fucking Blu-ray, like I put the link for this set in there again. You can get like different Blu-ray copies that are like imports if you just want to get the single movie. I think later on, somewhere down the road, the collector and me probably will just get some of those ones just to have like some cool like import ones, because why not? Yeah, you know, got a little bit of little bit of special features. Basically, big ol' You Are What They Eat making of Critters 3, a whole bunch of interviews and shit. The trailer and the still gallery. So it's one of those ones where as you get down the road, sometimes with the sequels, there's less big special features. But I mean, it's still cool. I do like the making of featurettes and stuff like that, and features, just because it's like, it gives you a little more insight. It's just kind of fun. But all right, well. I think I signed your pity on the running kind pretty good with Critters 3. And I'm going to go mix this shit. Wicca, what? And like, yeah, and next time, we'll be talking about Critters 4. It'll be fun. So until next time, Wada ta. Out.